Alright, hello guys, just doing a review of Ziam, some Netflix film that got recommended by one of my YouTube followers, Bear Logan Gaming, so let's get into it. So basically some disasters end up happening, like some whale ends up dying that kind of affects the waters. So when people end up getting the fish, it basically ends up making zombies happen in this hospital. And it seems like Ziam just doing what he can because like the world's kind of like in some kind of disastrous state because he's like an ex-boxer and he's kind of like protecting like waste supplies from people who are trying to steal them, so he ends up fighting them and stuff. Yeah. And then she's like always worried about him, like his wife Rin, which is kind of funny with Rin because every time I hear Rin, I'm always gonna think of flipping Naruto. So I was thinking like 100% she'd probably die in this film just because of her name alone. Yeah, but we'll get through the whole film anyway, and of course spoilers. But yeah, so basically his girlfriend wants him to stop doing these kind of missions, and she wants to move away to a better place. And then they end up having some of that fish with the bacteria that ends up turning them into zombies. Since it seems like they stole the fish as well from people, and yeah, they all end up turning into zombies. And then when she decides to go to work, after turn off the electricity and stuff in the city, I guess some of the patients from that meeting end up, turning into zombies in the hospital. So it kind of all starts from there, I guess. Yeah. But I guess they stayed dead for a long time for them to even get there. Yeah. Or they wasn't fully dead yet. Since they're the first zombies, I guess it kind of worked slow for them. But then once they spread the infection, they kind of turn faster. Yeah. And then he probably finds out that his wife's in danger. So he ends up going over to help her. Everyone's turned into a zombie from getting massacred. Definitely do I say because they always kind of do like zombie stuff, like apocalyptic stuff well. And when it comes to the zombies, obviously they make them actually scary and stuff. So yeah, you can imagine yourself in this situation. But then like him just literally boxing the zombies is hilarious because normally like people would just get a weapon and just stab him in the brain, but it kind of takes like a kid that needs help to actually realize how to kill the zombies because he decides to save him because he kind of hears him screaming. He's just trying to find his mum, I guess. And then you got this little girl who's trying to find her mum, but she ends up getting killed by the army, the military people that are gonna go inside and set the bomb and stuff to blow up the place so the infection can't spread. And she's just trying to get through because she does hear like her husband Sin, the main character, and she's just trying to like get out really. But then there's like this other guy who she ends up finding too, who's trying to help his wife because I think like he was like an important person for like the entire hospital and why it's even running in the first place. But this place ends up falling down anyway because there was kind of like treating his wife and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, the kid's just trying to escape, but then then he gets killed by a zombie. But Sin helps him. They're basically trying to get to the floor where I guess the little boy's mum is, so he can find Sin because she knows where he is. Yeah. But by the time we get to the mum, we find out that she's infected, so there's no hope for her. And then the little boy's sad, and she ends up turning. And I know I don't even like. Oh man, it's like when you think about this scene because she's literally in the area where there's babies, and you kind of know what ends up happening to those babies. But was there really not any? Was there no way for them? Well, it would be a bit effort to like trying to help babies at the same time. So it's kind of like a awkward situation. One, he could have, took out the mom, and then I don't even know if the kid would want to follow him after that. Or two, you could say he could have helped the babies, but there'd be a point where it'd be too hard to protect them, especially when the military end up attacking him. So I feel like the babies would be in danger anyway. I feel like the babies would be screwed anyway. So it was kind of like a awkward situation when it comes to the babies. So he just literally lets the babies get devoured by the mum when she turns, because I guess the mum wanted to make sure her kid got away. But man, if I was her, I don't know what I'd do. When I tried to like try one to another room, so don't end up eating babies. But the babies, with how the movie ends, the babies are going to be screwed anyway. So man, it's just a messed up situation. Yeah. And he's trying to fight to get to his mum, but he sees that she's a zombie and she ends up eating the babies. Yeah, very dark. Man. He's still trying to get to his wife. But then she's kind of with this guy. The one that the special marine people are trying to rescue because he's really important. You know, he's kind of here for his wife. Like, she decides to do like a blood transfusion to help the wife. They're trying to get to like the 10th floor where the wife is. The rest of the military are coming in. I mean, watching this, I do get like a bit of Dead Rising vibes. And it always makes me wonder, which I guess spoilers for Dead Rising 1, if the survivors in Dead Rising 1 was like killed. But essentially, you literally don't even see any bodies. You could say they just took out all the survivors, like they just took them out in like, I don't know, a helicopter or something. But we didn't even, unless they have special vehicles that they probably was sent in, and then the survivors were told to not really say anything about the outbreak, like expose anything, any secrets. I mean, also some of our main characters end up dying anyway, so they don't really get a chance to escape. But yeah, it always makes me wonder, would they have actually done something like in this film, Ziam, where they actually just literally take out every survivor and only rescue the ones that are actually important, which I guess Jessica, for example, in Dead Rising was one that they would have definitely took in, but since she was kind of infected, you know, she ends up dying, yeah. So it makes me wonder about the Dead Rising 1 ending, which is one of my favourite games of all time and favourite zombie games of all time. It just sucks that I don't feel like we ever really got a true sequel to Dead Rising 1, because I love Dead Rising 2 in a co-op way, and I love the father and daughter relationship with Katie and Chuck Green, but it was not a match in Dead Rising 1 and 3. It's a fun game, but for story-wise, it's a fail. And then 4, I'm not even going to bother talk about 4, but continuing this film, so yeah, he ends up getting really close to his wife, the military people are here shooting the zombies, and then they end up evacuating, trying to basically taking the wife when she doesn't want to go. And I think Sin ends up getting shot when he's trying to escape with his wife, and she doesn't want to go, and he ends up fighting like one of the main military guys. It's a pretty cool fight. Like it's a cool moment of the movie. But man, would a boxer actually beat a fully trained military guy? I don't even know. I'd say the military guy should have won, but boxers can be really skilled. But man, in my opinion, I'd say a military guy would actually win in the fight against a boxer. It depends on the techniques they use, because literally it gets to a point where the military guy literally chokes him out, and to me it looks like he was fully out, but I guess he just, I don't know, flipping Sin in this is just it's flipping superhuman, especially by the end of the film. Like, it just makes no sense how he ends up surviving, because then you got like flipping Extraction, a fully trained military guy. I don't even know if he goes up against a boxer in Extraction, so that's why to me I'd bet on a military guy, because he has more like special moves to like take down his opponents, where a boxer's, I guess he's really agile and stuff, but still, a fully trained military guy who knows like every weakness of the body. Like, man, I mean, Sin literally got shot, and somehow he was able to still take on a fully trained military guy. It's just hilarious, but it's a movie, so whatever. You just have to just believe it, I guess. And then he ends up getting devoured by a zombie anyway after he wins the fight. And then his wife comes and takes him to safety. But then the kid sees that the zombie ends up finding him, the military guy, so they have to burn him alive. Then they just end up trying to escape afterwards. And then the zombies end up turning into some special zombies, like it's Dead Rising 2 or something. Like their mouths become bigger and stuff, and I guess that guy's wife died. So basically the military's mission was basically a failure, since they wasn't able to save the main guy they needed to save. And he ends up getting devoured because he didn't want to leave with him, because, you know, his wife's gone. And in this moment, I wasn't sure if the military was actually going to take him, since the main mission was to save that guy, but they failed. But I guess they decided to take them. Yeah. And then the wife said to basically wait for her husband, which I'm surprised they even actually do it to. I just thought it was cold-blooded military people. So I'm actually surprised that they're actually willing to actually help him and give the main character 5 minutes to possibly help him escape with his wife and the kid. Yeah. And literally gets into a situation where I thought he was screwed, like when he gets flipping stuck in a car. But somehow he's able to plant a bomb in all of these zombies and explode it without him taking any damage at all. It's just, bro, what is he? If he was actually a military guy himself, at least it'd make things a bit more believable. But just a boxer? Come on. Come on. Like, bro. And then it gets to the point which to me, like, the movie's just like, come on, man, what are you doing? Because it seems like he basically does make it to the helicopter, but he decides to walk slowly to the helicopter, and it just starts to go up, and I'm just like, bro, that whole time you literally could just run over to the helicopter. You had all that energy to flipping, get to this point, and when you're actually there, you're just like, whatever, I don't care if it takes off, and it takes off, and then the building is gonna explode. So yeah, at this point you just think he's dead, and that's it for him. Goes out like a champ, and he's still fighting even before the bomb goes off, and then it blows up. So it looks like he's dead. And then you see him in the place that she wanted to go, and then you get like this dumb ending. He's literally still alive. Like, bro, how? He was literally in the building that fully collapsed, and he was still alive. Like, that literally makes no sense. I guess he hid in like one of the bowel things, and was able to somehow still survive. Like, bro, that's just BS. And I'm guessing they'd probably want to maybe make a sequel if this does well enough. And I'd say it's good. I mean, it's a film where I wasn't on my phone watching it, so that means it's good. It's nothing crazy. It's not Train to Busan level. I mean, that's always going to be the best Asian zombie film of all time. Like, nothing's ever beaten that. I mean, they tried to make a sequel and they couldn't beat it, so yeah, it's never been beaten. But this is still a good zombie film. Yeah, because Asians are the best at making zombie films. So yeah, it does its job. No crazy story or anything. And you could say Train to Busan doesn't really have a crazy story, but I feel like it's the way how they did the zombies in such a unique way. It's just so memorable and one of the best zombie movies ever. I mean, my favourite zombie movie is always going to be Shaun of the Dead. I mean, nothing's ever beaten that for me because it's literally multiple movies all in one. It's a horror film, it's a romance film, it's a comedy film. It's so many films all in one. It just does it so well. Like, you have comedic moments with Ed, and then like the serious moments with Sean and his girlfriend and his mom. Like, man, and the zombies, the horror itself, like, it just, like, that's why that's never going to be beaten. And then you've got, when it comes to like probably like fully focusing on the comedy, you've got Zombieland and its sequel, which was also good even after 10 years later. But I'd probably say One Cut of the Dead, like, comedy wise, is probably the best, because it's hard to say if that's actually a zombie film, because at the end of the day, it's a movie inside of a movie, so the zombies are not real. But in comedic level, if you do count it, it's probably the funniest you can watch. But I probably would still go with Zombieland if we're not going to count it. But if we are, One Cut of the Dead is the best for comedy-wise. And I don't think I'd be putting Ziam in my top 10 zombie films of all time, but it's still pretty good. I recommend it, and I appreciate one of my followers recommending it too. Yeah, since I finally got to it. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Which you can leave a like. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.